Belief that moved civilizations. What if one of the most powerful forces in human history was not a weapon, a ruler, or an empire, but a quiet leaf steeped in hot water? What if a daily ritual, repeated billions of times without thought, silently shaped global trade, labor systems, revolutions, addiction, philosophy, and the rhythm of human life itself? Tea does not arrive with violence. It does not announce its power. It whispers, slowly embedding itself into habits, identities, and economies until entire civilizations begin to orbit around it. From mist-covered mountains in ancient China to colonial plantations, imperial wars, revolutionary acts, and modern cafes, tea has moved people and nations without ever raising its voice. This is not the story of a drink. This is the hidden story of how tea shaped the modern world. And before we begin, subscribe to Plates of the Planet, because this journey, like every dish, is best enjoyed one plate, one cup, one food story at a time. Before taste, tea as medicine, science, and survival. Long before tea became something people drank for pleasure, it was valued for survival. In ancient China, tea entered human life not as cuisine, but as medicine. Early Chinese pharmacology viewed plants as agents of balance, and tea was classified as a substance that could cool the body, sharpen the mind, aid digestion, and counteract toxins. Legend attributes tea's discovery to Emperor Shen Nong, a ruler said to have tested hundreds of plants on his own body to understand their effects. Whether myth or metaphor, the story reflects a deeper truth. Tea was first understood through observation, experimentation, and bodily experience. Ancient medical texts described tea as bitter, cleansing, and clarifying. It was consumed to counter fatigue, to remain alert during long hours of labor or meditation, and to bring the body back into harmony with nature. Tea plants thrived in mountainous regions where mist slowed growth and intensified flavor, and cultivation became a partnership between humans and landscape. Tea was not rushed. It required patience, attention, and respect for natural rhythms. In these early centuries, tea was not about indulgence. It was about balance, discipline, and endurance. Tea becomes culture. As Chinese civilization evolved, tea slowly moved from medicine into culture. During the Tang and Song dynasties, tea became intertwined with intellectual life. Scholars brewed tea while composing poetry, debating philosophy, and painting landscapes. Tea houses emerged as social spaces where travelers, merchants, and thinkers gathered, transforming tea into a medium of exchange not just for goods, but for ideas. Preparation itself became an art. Water temperature, vessel material, leaf quality, and brewing technique were discussed with the same seriousness as literature or music. Tea reflected Confucian ideals of harmony, order, and refinement, and it became a symbol of cultivated life. In these spaces, tea was no longer simply consumed. It was performed, observed, and shared. The act of drinking tea became a way of participating in civilization itself. This period established tea as a cultural language. To understand tea was to understand society, etiquette, and intellect. The leaf had moved beyond survival and into identity. Discipline in a bowl. When tea traveled from China to Japan, it encountered a new philosophical environment. Zen Buddhist monks embraced tea not for pleasure, but for focus. Long hours of meditation demanded alertness without agitation, and tea provided exactly that balance. Over centuries, this relationship between tea and mindfulness evolved into one of the most disciplined rituals in human history, the Japanese tea ceremony. Here, tea was stripped of excess, Every movement became deliberate, every object symbolic. The ceremony emphasized humility, impermanence, and presence. The room was simple. The gestures were slow. Silence was as important as sound. Drinking tea became a form of meditation, a way to experience time fully rather than escape it. This chapter of tea's story stands in stark contrast to what would come later. In Japan, tea slowed the world down. Elsewhere, it would soon accelerate it. Europe discovers tea. When European traders first encountered tea through Chinese ports, they did not understand it. Tea was bitter, unfamiliar, and foreign. At first, it was marketed as medicine, praised for its ability to cure headaches, improve digestion, and sharpen the mind. Slowly, curiosity turned into fascination. In Europe, rarity created desire. Tea was expensive, imported, and associated with the exotic East. It became a luxury consumed by royalty and elites, a symbol of sophistication and global reach. No country embraced tea more intensely than Britain. What began as aristocratic indulgence soon filtered into wider society, and tea started to reshape daily life. The leaf that once slowed monks now began to accelerate empire. How tea rewired Britain. Class, gender, industry, and identity. Tea did not merely enter British society, it reorganized it. Tea structured daily schedules, replacing alcohol with a beverage that promoted alertness and discipline. It became central to domestic life, particularly among women, turning tea rooms into socially acceptable public spaces. Afternoon tea emerged as a ritual of order, refinement, and control. During the Industrial Revolution, tea played a quiet but crucial role. Factory workers consumed tea to endure long hours. Employers encouraged tea consumption because it increased productivity without intoxication. Tea became moral, respectable, and efficient. It was no longer a luxury. It was infrastructure. By the time Britain reached the height of its imperial power, tea had become inseparable from national identity. A foreign leaf had been fully absorbed, and the demand for tea became insatiable. When tea became a weapon, Britain's obsession with tea came at a cost. China accepted silver for tea, and Britain's reserves began to drain. To correct this imbalance, the British East India Company turned to opium, flooding Chinese markets with an addictive drug grown in colonial India. Tea consumption in Britain was now directly linked to addiction, social collapse, and economic destabilization in China. When Chinese authorities attempted to stop the opium trade, Britain responded with force. The Opium Wars were not fought over tea itself, but tea was the reason they existed. A comforting beverage consumed daily in British homes had become the driver of imperial violence thousands of miles away. Tea had become currency. Power had disguised itself as comfort. Tea as resistance. Across the Atlantic, tea played a different role. In the American colonies, tea symbolized British authority and control. Taxes on tea represented taxation without representation, and resistance took the form of spectacle. When colonists dumped tea into Boston Harbor, they were not rejecting a drink. They were rejecting empire. Tea had become political language. To drink it was to comply. To destroy it was to rebel. Once again, tea proved it was never neutral. Plantations, empire, and invisible hands. As demand grew, Britain sought control over production. Tea plantations reshaped landscapes in India and Sri Lanka. Forests were cleared. Indigenous farming systems were dismantled. Millions of laborers were bound to plantations under brutal conditions. Names like Assam, Darjeeling, and Ceylon became symbols of quality, while the labor behind them remained invisible. Tea connected comfort in one part of the world to suffering in another. Every cup carried hidden histories of displacement, coercion, and exploitation. Tea beyond empire. Not all tea cultures were shaped by empire. In the Middle East, tea became a symbol of hospitality, poured endlessly during conversation. In Russia, samovars warmed long winters. In North Africa, mint tea blended bitterness and sweetness into social ritual. These traditions centered community rather than commerce, presence rather than profit. Tea here returned to something closer to its origins: connection. Modern tea and the illusion of choice. Today, tea is everywhere. Tea bags, wellness branding, bubble tea, cafes, and social media trends give the illusion of endless choice. Yet beneath modern packaging lie ancient systems of labor, trade, and power. Tea has changed form, but its history remains intact. What tea teaches us about power. Tea teaches us that influence does not need to be loud to be absolute. Sometimes power enters quietly, through habit, ritual, and daily comfort. Every cup holds centuries of history, from monks and emperors to laborers and revolutionaries. If you're ready to keep uncovering the hidden stories behind what the world eats and drinks, subscribe to Plates of the Planet and join us as we explore culture, history, and human connection. One plate, one cup, one story at a time.